Welcome everyone to Health Coach TV. I'm your host, Dr. Shauna Menard, and I am here so excited to be here with the amazing Krystal Almora. Welcome, Krystal.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's dive in and give you a proper introduction. I'm super excited. I know you have a whole slew of raving fans that follow you on Instagram. So let me tell people who might not know who you are a little bit about you. So outside of being a mom of two boys and baseball wife to World Series champion Albert Almora, Krystal Almora is a certified integrative nutrition health coach looking to empower many women as possible to become the CEO of their health. And specifically, she helps busy moms lose the baby weight. So if that's you, if you're like, how do I get rid of this weight? Or you're looking for weight loss, Krystal is your gal. She gets incredible results. So she is the CEO of True Health, and she's passionate about helping women find what true health actually looks like. And she helps them unlock the secrets to healthy weight loss, igniting their unique strengths, qualities, and bio-individual needs to conquer holistic healing and improve their overall health and happiness. And she says true health is not just about the food that feeds our body, but food that feeds the mind, heart, and soul. She currently resides in beautiful Miami, Florida. So welcome, Krystal.
Thank you so much.
I'm just so excited to chat with you. You have such an incredible life, a busy life. A baseball wife is no small feat, and to be a mom, it's a lot. So tell people, let's just start off, tell people, what is it that you do now?
So yes, as you said, the life of a baseball wife could be very, very busy. Right now, I currently am a stay-at-home mom with my two boys, but I have a health coach business where I help busy moms lose baby weight, heal their gut so they can feel calm, confident, and be that healthy role model for their families.
Yeah, awesome. And it's so good. I know a lot of women struggle with the baby weight, sometimes for decades later.
Yeah.
But
we've all been there.
Yeah, we've all been there. I remember this time well. So what had you get into this line of work of health coaching and helping women with weight loss and really getting a healthy gut? What had you what was your journey like to there?
Yeah, so it started at a very young age, my passion for food. I love to cook. I grew up in Italian upbringing, so Sunday pasta and gravy was a thing all the time. So it started with that, and then it wasn't until I got to college where everything changed. I saw a documentary about the food industry, and that was it. There's an ugly side to it, and I started doing different things like food shopping differently, buying quality foods, organic. And I really, at that point, realized that we all have this veil over us when it comes to what we're putting in our bodies. So that happened. And then a few years later, I met my husband right after college, and I became a mom, right? So I was exploring this whole new world of my body changing. And as a traveling baseball wife and a mom of two boys, I discovered the challenges. It was busy, just taking care of a household. And I kind of lost that person that I found back in the college days, right? Where I really cared about what I was putting in my body. So I kind of ate whatever I wanted during my pregnancies. And then it wasn't until my second pregnancy where I realized things aren't just going to go back to normal, right? I actually have to put some work into this. So after checking out my new body, I explored new ways to kind of find what that sustainable true health was for myself. And I learned that heavy exercise and strict dieting, like trendy diets, just made matters worse. So after trying endlessly to find this sustainable health and healthy weight loss, I discovered that for myself. And it was basically through a holistic approach and lifting that veil again, going back to that person that I found during college and realizing the food that we put in our body truly does matter, and making sure that it was, as healthy and quality as it can get.
I think a picture's worth 1,000 words, and I'm going to share. You're popular on Instagram. I know you got at least 45,000 followers there last time I checked, and you put out some really great content, but one of the things that I saw not too long ago was a before and after picture. And I think that's really telling, because a lot of people see you now and they're like, well, it's easy for her. She's Krystal. Like, it's easy for her. And they forget that you're a human, and you had to figure this out, and it wasn't always that way. And I think the other thing that I know that you have is a real compassion for women, because you know that they're trying hard, like they're doing the diets and they're doing the exercise and they're busting it out. They're stressing their bodies, kind of making it worse. So even the harder they try, the further, away from their goal they get. And you get it because you walked in those shoes. And so I'm gonna share my screen with on that, so people can know there is a before and after journey here, and you get it. And the reason why you're where you are right now is because the light bulb switched off. And we're going to talk a little bit more about, well, what does that mean if you're not dieting and exercising and that kind of thing? What are you doing? What is true health? So we're going to explore that, but let me just go ahead and just share my screen here. Okay, so I'm over here on your Instagram at True Health by Krystal, Krystal with a K. And so here's a before and after picture. And there's a few pictures here, so I can kind of scroll through them. But just an incredible transformation. But tell me a little bit about, this. What happened? How did you lose weight? How did you do that? I mean, I think everybody would love to have that kind of transformation. How did you do that?
Well, it started with me feeling insecure. Like I said, if you have kids, you're just exploring this new body, everything changes. So it was that, plus wanting to be that healthy role model for my kids. I knew feeling insecure, not feeling good from the inside out, having some gut issues. I really wanted to get back to that person that knew and felt good. But in this picture, I remember specifically, we had to go on vacation. It was about 4 months after I had my first son, and I just felt terrible. Then in this picture here, it was on vacation a couple of years later, and it's just incredible the transformation that I went through, not just physically, right? It's not always about the weight and what's on the scale, because I only had about 15 to 20 pounds of stubborn weight, but it wasn't going anywhere with all the exercise and all the trendy diets, right? So I knew there was something else. There was another breakthrough thing that I needed to get to. And I did that. I feel so empowered and so blessed to not only found that true health for myself and that sustainable health, but know that I could teach other women. It's really attainable once we put in the right steps and the right secrets. 3 secret steps, I say, my breakthrough strategy. It really all just makes sense and the magic happens. So I remember vividly being that person on the left and just feeling lost in that world of trying and not seeing those sustainable results.
Yeah. And I think the thing, I want to just direct people's attention to, because really in your before, lots of people would love your before as their after. Like, let's just be real. Like, people are like, I want that. But what you're saying is, it's not really even about the physical. It's about, and you talked about lifting the veil, and it's about being in a fog, and you can see in your face that insecurity. The body language is insecure, and just in a fog, in a mess, in a funk, frustrated, overwhelmed, trying all these things, and nothing actually working. And so it's nothing's budging, despite depriving yourself of foods you love, and depriving your, and exercising, maybe, and doing things that you don't really like to do, and finding yourself getting nowhere. And you just feel like you're beating your head against the wall. It's just really frustrating. And it doesn't seem like you can ever get to an after picture like you have. And you've been able to help other women do this too. It's not just you, but you've been able to help other women do it. So it's not just oh, well, Krystal's a unicorn. She can do it. She's just good. That was just a little bit of post-baby weight. What's the big deal? No, that's not what we're saying here at all. It is,
and that's the thing,
transformation. Yeah.
The weight didn't just fall off like people expected it to. And I really had to discover my own health blueprint.
Yeah. I think that's important. Let me bring us back to our interview. I'll stop the share, and then I want to dive into what do you mean by blueprint, and we're going to dive into all of that. We're going to dive into the secrets. What about, where does gut health come into it? We're going to dive into that. So just one moment. All right, so we're going to unpack all of these little pieces because you've got quite the transformation. I know you've been able to do that for other women as well. So that's all great. But all these women are like, do that for me, do that for me. So is this all what your transformation? Is that what had you, let's just start there. Is that what had you decide to become a health coach in the first place?
Yes. Well, like I mentioned, when I was younger, I loved food. And then in college, I saw this documentary and it sparked that side of me that wanted to get to the truth. Hence True Health by Krystal. I just knew we deserve better, right? We got to lift this veil. We got to know what we're putting in our body. So that, and then I never really struggled with weight problems. So when I got pregnant and my body changed and the weight wasn't falling off, I said, okay, I have to do something, but something that's going to be sustainable. And all that other stuff, the trendy diets, the heavy exercise was not it. I wanted something that was going to feel good and be good for me and get to that true health, that sustainable health blueprint. So
yeah. So I'm going to go there now because I don't want to leave the audience hanging. I know we were going to, go there later a little bit. Before, I think you've alluded to, and we'll circle back around if we fill in the blanks, but I just want to go over to, like you talked about 3 secrets, strategies, your breakthrough strategy, this custom blueprint. So what is this? What is the 3 secrets or the 3 strategies? Or give us a little bit more. Like what happens? What was the shift? How is it different than just diet and exercise? So just give us a little bit more about what do you mean by that?
I'm sure you've heard 80% of it is nutrition, 20% is exercise. The first thing you have to do is you need that knowledge, right? Because knowledge is power, and what you don't know, you don't know. So educating yourself on holistic health, which is totally different from what we're brought into, right? And what we learn as a baby all the way until now, it's the opposite. So we're not really guided on how to heal the body, on what gut health is. There's this huge missing piece. So you have to fill that in first so you know how to navigate not only your own body and your health and what's going on inside, but this food world, the food system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that has changed,
Right.
in my lifetime. So sort of my mother generation, they could go into the grocery store and get food. It would be food.
Real food.
They would have a good shot at it. At least they'd know what is food and what is not and what is junk.
Yeah.
But now there's so many chemicals and everything, and it's really hard to navigate. And when you're a busy mom, and it's hard to know what works, what doesn't work, because most people don't realize that the food supply has been messed with and
right.
that it's having consequences. And so in your image, your before and after image, if people looked at the post that you wrote out to go along with the images, you were talking about a gut repair and a healthy detox. So we're talking about gut health, and people often don't know that they don't have a healthy gut, and that is sabotaging one of the things that's sabotaging all the efforts. So give us a little bit, we'll dive a little bit more into the specifics of that. Yeah. Tell us a little bit, how do you work with your clients? Like, just give us a general idea of how do you work with them to help them get those great results?
Yeah. So my clients are mostly anywhere from 25 to 65. They could have poor gut health and know about it, right? Not everyone knows about it.
Right.
Chronic health diseases, high blood pressure, obviously are looking to lose weight, that stubborn weight that they just can't seem to figure out how to lose. But it's unique for each person. It's a custom health blueprint that they're going to create, but also through a program that I walk them through step by step. So it's super individualized and custom to that person, because everyone is different. If there's 7 billion people in the world, there's 7 billion ways to be healthy. So I really extract and pull that out, the best of the client that I'm working with, qualities and strengths and bio individual needs to not only ignite the healing process, but also to know what's going to help them thrive and feel
Yeah.
good from the inside out. So
And I think that's really important. It's not cookie cutter, and that is sometimes the exact missing link that somebody has, because they've been trying like the recommendations,
right.
and or like, yeah, I heard about gut health, I tried this, still not helping. And so, but customizing it and looking at what helps, what helps this person, that, or what does this person need that that person doesn't, and just really customizing it. And that's a game changer. And then that can be sustainable. People have different preferences, different lifestyles, 25 and 65, big age gap. So different needs based on that. People's bodies are very different. So I know your main focus is helping people with healthy, sustainable weight loss, really true health, which leads to the weight loss. What would you say is one of the biggest myths when it comes to weight loss? I know your super specialty is busy moms losing the baby weight, but just in general, what would you say is the biggest myth people have when it comes to weight loss?
I would say heavy exercise. People think that they need to make sure they're working out and have a heavy exercise routine, when really I see in a lot of my clients that it's the opposite. Just a natural movement that's part of their everyday is enough to complement their weight loss through the nutrition side of things. And when I say not just the food that feeds the body, but the mind and the soul, it's that full picture of holistic health that we need to take in consideration. So definitely a myth. I see women who are busting their butts in the gym, and which is wonderful, right? Because it's amazing to get the body moving and the blood flowing and having that. But when you're missing the bigger picture and you can't walk into the grocery store and know how to navigate it, there's so many other layers, right, that need to be applied and to really, bring it all together.
Yeah. And I think that's, I remember an example of when I was it was before I was married. So I'd be in my late 20s or so, and no kids yet. And I was busting it at the gym, and I was fine, but nothing was changing. I'd do my aerobics classes, and it was everything just was easy. Then I was in Hawaii, and I was there for a period of time, and working in the hospital there, and the weight just flew off. And it was so funny. There was no gym. But what changed was the nutrition. And I, back in the day, thought I just really got to exercise like crazy. But
Right.
it wasn't. Now I walked everywhere because I didn't own a car. So I walked to the beach, I walked around to the hospital, I walked around, I walked to the grocery store. And back in those days, not really a great cook at all. No time or desire back then. So I ate a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. And the weight just fell off. And I was there with another girl in my medical class, and we went and danced every weekend. So, I mean, it was an incredible weight loss, but not sustainable, because it's the Hawaii diet plan of the 20s. So
Right.
I can't keep dancing every night in the weekends. And staying in this place with Hawaii. And once you have kids, they might not just go for, hey, we're just going to have fruit and vegetables for dinner. We're not cooking ever again.
Right.
That might not fly. But it was some of those things. But what I hear you talking about is I really got that nutrition matters. So if you're exercising like crazy, but your food is not on point, you can't get there. But when your food's on point, you don't need the crazy exercise to get there. There's a saying, you can't outrun the fork. And that's kind of one of those things. But movement is absolutely important too, as I've come to learn. A lot of people saw the effects of that during the pandemic when they weren't maybe as active, and there are repercussions. So both are important, but not those extremes. But I think the devil's in the detail as far as nutrition. Like, people are like, yeah, I'm eating healthy, but you talk a lot about the importance of reading food labels and really educating people as to what's important. So why is reading food labels important, and what do you mean by true food knowledge?
Well, I think that we've come to a point in society where it's not enough to just say, I'm going to eat more vegetables or walk more. While that's all well and great, we need to do more research. We need to understand that there's companies that spend billions of dollars every year to trick us and manipulate us, right? So when we see low fat or high fructose corn syrup, we need to know what those red flags are. The low fat thing, we think for many years, right? There was a period where we were tricked into thinking, okay, I want that because it's going to help me lose weight or not gain weight. But really, what that's doing is that's hiding artificial ingredients and sugars, hidden sugars in the product. We're getting bombarded with these things that we shouldn't be, especially the artificial ones, right? All those terrible chemicals that are just created for these food products, and especially our kids. And that's, I think, too,
Yes.
where a lot of the passion came. And I realized for my kids' sake,
Yeah.
there's ingredients out there that have a direct link to ADHD and to cancers and to problems. And to think about our kids being affected by that at such a young age, we're all victims, unfortunately, right, to this food system. And I think that's a big thing in today's society, unfortunately, that we have to add on to trying to be healthy. We need
Right.
to understand this part of our food system.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that low fat craze of the 80s just made everybody fat.
Right.
When we talk about my Hawaii diet plan, I mean, it's great if you can get it, not really at
Right.
everybody's fingertips, but also that was like over 35 years ago. The grocery stores and the food system then has changed a lot in a few decades, 3 or 4 decades. So it's
Yeah.
just it's not the same. And so really empowering people to know what works and then what works for them specifically, there is that
Absolutely.
unique, as you say, bio individuality. So there's women here watching, men maybe as well. What are some tips that you can share with our viewers about, just some general tips that you can share?
I would say try and be your own primary health care provider and advocate. Like really trust your body's innate healing ability, and take responsibility for your own health. You know your body better than anyone, and make sure you listen to it. Two approaches that I use as a health coach is root cause and interconnectedness. Root cause is always digging deeper and asking why. When there's something off with our bodies, there's a reason why. And unfortunately, in today's world, medical doctors are trained. It's like not even their fault half the time. They're trained to prescribe medicine. It's just the way our healthcare system is. So while that could be life-saving and great in many cases, that's another burden we have on us to have to kind of push through that sometimes and say, well, what is best for my body? Is it this? And is it something that should be long-term?
Right.
I see a lot of times people going on medications long-term, which shouldn't be, right? So I would just say that's so important to make sure you listen to your body and think about your future and longevity and what you're doing on a day-to-day basis that you could start to change today to make a better ripple effect, that interconnectedness, everything is connected. So when we get on a good ripple effect and do one small step at a time towards the right direction, magic happens. And that's where that health blueprint comes in, right?
Yeah, awesome. I love that. That's fantastic. And that starts to, I think people are getting an idea of it's more, it's deeper than that, but then also a stronger foundation and more sustainable. All the time when I'm talking to health coaches and they're helping clients and they go after that initial result, let's say in this case, weight loss, there's always some spin-off benefits that people didn't even imagine or unique perspectives that, your clients will sort of reflect back. What are some spin-off benefits that you've seen with some of the people that you've worked with?
Well, yeah. I mean, my dad was actually my first client right after the college phase of, the shift that I had of the food industry. I moved in with him and his health completely changed. His doctor actually said to him, whatever you're doing, continue because your blood work looks amazing. So just by some basic fundamentals, simple steps that I had in place really took effect on his health. So that was amazing. He found his healthy convenience And I love that saying because in today's world, unhealthy is convenient, right? Running to McDonald's or whatever fast food restaurant is there is so convenient. So finding convenience in healthy is really the key to unlocking sustainable health too. So I was able to help him do that. But also one of my clients actually was able to lower their medication for their anxiety. And it was incredible because it was something we weren't really focusing on. We were focused on healing the gut. But through that, she was able to feel more at ease and calm. And it was just so wonderful to see. Also, that rubs off on family members, right? So our kids and our grandkids see what we're doing. And we're truly that healthy role model that can spread the knowledge and the good stuff around. And more people can get those health benefits and just feel good.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Awesome. And I think I remember you talking to me about a woman who had, I think she was wanting to lose, maybe 30 pounds or something like that. But as you're working with people, one of the things is when people try to do it on their own, maybe they're good for a little bit when everything's good. But this one had something that like literally knocked her off balance. Remember that?
Yes, absolutely. One of my clients is a perfect example of this. She came in ready, willing to learn, wanting to see those results. But she had a temporary life-changing thing happen to her, literally that threw her off balance. She was hit with vertigo. But because she had the strong foundation, that path that was lit up for her, she knew exactly what to do to be good for her and her body and to heal herself. She pushed through. She made it through and was able to continue the results after she was done the vertigo. And the one thing she said is her mind was changed. Her mindset was completely new. And with that mindset, you're never going back, right? You're never going to gain the weight back or go back to the old you because you now see that light at the end of the tunnel. And it doesn't necessarily matter how long it takes you to get there, right? Because life will throw you that curveball. Right. And having this program in particular and these secrets that you unlock through it gets you through, right? And you have that strong foundation of sustainable health.
When you have your own unique blueprint, you're like, okay, this is what I need to do in order to get my great results. And then when you have that anchor in, as your dad was saying, it was the convenience, making the healthy choices, the convenient choices, and then it's sustainable. But if we can only do it when it's convenient, when we have time, when everything stars are all aligned, it's never going to last. And then we're just back into yo-yo dieting and so on, and in crisis management. And so this is true health, as you say, it's fantastic, and the ripple effects for generations, kids, grandkids, spouses. So important. So thank you for the work that you do, Krystal. Super excited about the work that you're putting out there. It's really important. People who are listening, what are the best ways for them to get in touch with you?
So you go to my website. It's True Health by Krystal, Krystal with a K, .com, and you'll be able to get your free starter kit. So you could start today making those healthy choices, healthy habits. There's a lot of good stuff in there. There's even a bonus pantry makeover. So you could start implementing those changes as well, navigating the grocery store. My Instagram is pretty much the same as the website, just True Health by Krystal with a K.
True Health by Krystal. So truehealthbykrystal.com for the website, and go to Instagram and follow her there. She's got great tips. You'll see her beautiful family and all of the things of a baseball life. It's kind of cool to see. I know there's definitely busy seasons in your life. And when you're traveling and on the road, that's a whole other thing that you've had to learn how to navigate as a mom. Most people, when they travel, they gain weight. And that's part of your actual lifestyle. And so just knowing how to navigate that and having your blueprint for that is huge. So thank you so much, Krystal. And thank you, all of you, for watching and listening. If you have any questions for Krystal, reach out to her. If you have any questions here or topics that you would like to see covered, then absolutely let us know. But it's been an absolute pleasure. And that's it for this episode of Health Coach TV. We'll see you in the next episode. Have a fantastic week. And of course, be good for you.
Thank you.